good morning and good afternoon, good evening, and Ohayo gozaimasu from Ohio. I really appreciate your time. This is Cherry Kubota, Ohio State University. This is for the April Indoor Ag Science Cafe. This is the place you are exchanging information and ask questions. All right, so as usual, I just wanted to go over today's agenda. We have a special presenter from all the way from Japan, connecting almost midnight from her home, Eri Hayashi from Japan Plant Factory Association. So she's gonna show up in a minute. But before going that, I like to show you the upcoming schedule. So May, we have a speaker from Purdue University, Dr. Krishna Nemari, who is talking about smart sensing technology for indoor farming. So that's going to be interesting. And then next month, I'm still in a conversation with a company, and hopefully they're gonna give a presentation for that. So as soon as I confirm, I will let you know. A couple of events. The first one is Cultivate, which is Ohio-based. So I wanted to mention that. It's a trade show, including greenhouse and indoor farm. Second one is OptimIA, which is our group funded by USDA, Michigan State, Purdue University, Ohio State, University of Arizona, work together for supporting indoor farming. And we will have a stakeholder meeting August 20th, 2021. So more information coming up. So just stay tuned and then distribute it in this also. All right, so I think that's what I have, and I'm gonna stop sharing and then have Eri Hayashi going to present today regarding plant factories and indoor farming innovations in Japan. As you know, Japan has longer history and experience regarding indoor farming, so it should be interesting. So Eri, if you wanna start your presentation.
Sure. So can you see this okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Hi everyone, I'm Eri Hayashi. Thanks Cherry for your kind introduction. I'm really happy to be here. And first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's such a great opportunity for me to share the story of what's going on in Japan, because in general, Japan is sometimes known as a kind of mystery of because it's hard to Google what's going on. So I'm very happy to share what's happening in Japan. Since I prepared so much slides today, and then Cherry was kind of worried that if I can finish, but I'll try my best. So today, first I would like to introduce a little bit about who Japan Plant Factory Associations are, and then also just to go through the principle and concept of plant factory. And also main topic for today is to share the current state situation and challenge in Japan and where we are going. So Japan Plant Factory Association, JPFA, is a nonprofit organization founded in 2010 with a mission to develop and introduce sustainable plant factory or controlled environment agriculture technology with a collaboration with academia and industry to bridge the gap with academia industry. So we focus on the collaboration between academia domestically and also internationally. We have 130 company members. I think 15 to 20% it's international organization or individual. So you're more than welcome to join us to move this industry forward. There's mainly a couple of activity, including R&D, research and development, also workshop training or standardization committees or business or technical support. And we also have been organizing training also internationally. Professor Kubota has been one of the great lecturers, and we've been trying our best to do an online training course. And also we've been doing some workshops. And so we are looking forward to for the collaboration internationally with your with the United States or Europe, wherever you are. So here, since it's midnight, I'm talking from my at home, but here is campus. So we are non-profit organization. It's completely individual organization, but we are based in one of the campus of Chiba University. So this is a map. So as you can see, it's more like like a showcase for housing. So you can see each facility, including greenhouse or plant factory, vertical farm, indoor farm. As you can see, each has a different research topics with a different consortium group in company and university. And this one, I think the building 14 is organized by one of the major engineering company called Obayashi working in automation. And also for, let's say, the building number 6, we've been working on the phenotyping for environmental control and then breeding projects, which is very exciting. Yeah. And also Kashiwanaha city is also known for agri-driven smart city. Yeah. And also in the city, not only research facility, but there are large-scale farm, including the company maybe you're aware of, you'll be familiar with a company called Mirai, producing 10,000 heads of lettuce and herbs. And also there's some small system for restaurants like this. Yeah, so plant factory with artificial lighting now. The biggest feature is that its a cultivation room is highly airtight and thermally insulated. So since it's since that the input and output and even the waste can be visualized continuously estimated online. So the resource use efficiency can be visualized and analyzed. So the more you produce and the more data you are creating at the same time. So plant factories, the beauty is creating environment for plants with multi-objective function. So the high productivity and uniformity, consistency and reproducibility is a great feature. But the reality is that it's not easy to accomplish uniformity or reproducibility. So there's so much space that to be improved to work together. And not only the state variable, but also the rate variable. For example, the speed of photosynthesis or water uptake is visualized like this. This is how it looks, and which was developed collaboration with a startup called Plantex. The Plantex has been developed the software, and also they have been working on to develop the hardware for the scalable system. And this is the figure, the plan. So with a module system, they have a plan to expand for the large scale production as well. So maybe I'm going too fast, but I think it's this presentation is going to be recorded and it's going to be posted on the website. So you can please go back if you're missing something. Yeah. So since, as you know, it's so many different systems internationally, so many interesting company working lately, and it's really hard to choose a system and what's the best system. So let me go through the history of the Japanese market. So 1980s, we call the first plant factory generation. But we used to call it first plant factory boom. But I mean, we noticed that the term of boom means that it's not going to last for long. So we tend to use generation instead of boom. And so 1980s was our first generation, mainly using HPS lamps. And then the second generation started around 1990s, mainly using the fluorescence lamp. Oh, I'm missing P here. And then after 2009, the third generation started, particularly with with a project of the government project, and the government start funding the plant factory. And then after 2012, the lots of plant factory operators replaced with LED. So this is just a brief number. It needs to be fine-tuned, but just to see how it looks. To see the number of the trend of the number of paper or articles on plant factory from 1970 to 2019. So you can see it's been increasing. And then the interesting thing is that this is how it looked. If you it could call the shokubutsu kojo, means plant factory in Japanese. That number. So you can see from 1970. I think there are more. I think Professor Kubota knows a lot, but I think more paper in terms of related to plant factory or controlled environment agriculture has been published, so many papers. But using this term, shokubutsu kojo plant factory, this is a number that using this term. So as you can see, it's been increasing, but slightly it's just increased a lot after 90s. And then after, you can see here, after 2008, it was drastically increased, the number. So I think it relates to the boom, the generation, particularly this is like a third generation. And then this is how it looked, the plant factory market in Japan, how it looked in 2013. And then this is how it looked 2020 on the yearly production volume. So I think the number of plant factories around 200, but the volume, the yearly volume is around 13,000 metric ton per year right now. So the particularly 2017, after 2017, I think we can call it a fourth plant factory generation. Since more company was, building the larger plant factory, so scalability, and then not only for the retail supermarket, but more company has been selling more large volume to the food service, including the convenience store for the sandwich, for example. And also automation using AI, the phenotyping, and then more company working on breeding, and also collaboration. I think it's one of the beauty of the Japanese market right now is that they have more, they tend to collaborate each other, even they are competitor each other. So for example, if you have a lot of customer and then you need more produce, and then they sometimes work together to help each other. So I think that's great things. Okay, so so I would like to introduce a couple of interesting company. So this is one of the leading plant factory called 808 Factory. So data-driven, they're doing data-driven operation. So they started the operation, the first factory 2014, and they built their original design, the second factory 2017, producing 20,000 heads of lettuce every day. Since their original business is pachinko, amusement, slotting machines, so they are good at sensing technology. So this is how it looks. You see the solar panel. I think they are generating around 700 solar panel. And they really work. You see how clean the floor is. Every time I get to visit their farm, the floor is just like shiny. It's really clean. So they're working on hard on the hygiene management, also collecting data, to working on continuous improvement of the productivity and then resource use efficiency. Since they're working a lot on the sensing, so they've been improving the resource use efficiency and hygiene management, the process management, so they can prove how clean their product is, how clean with the data, so that they guarantee the quality and the volume, the consistent supply to their customer. Yeah, So they have a playful touch. They have a lots of interest. Fun TV commercial that they've been increasing the consumer awareness. Then also they'll be using the camera, they're monitoring everything, even like a hand movement of each worker, and so that they can improve the labor efficiency. And also this is one of the example of improving the labor efficiency by changing the design. So before the plant nursery racks was different from the other, cultivation racks, so that you have to move the tray to each rack, so that you have to move around. So then this is how it looked after the improvement. So they put the nursery layer here in between, so that the transplanted to cultivation safety of the same rack, so the moving distance of the seedling is virtually none, and operational time was really shortened. So the productivity, labor efficiency and productivity has almost doubled. So yeah, this is one of the example. And as you can see, the ceiling is 6 meter high, and then they have 11 to 12 tiers. So you can see how narrow the layer, the distance is. So let's move to other company called Spread. I think it's very famous company based in Kyoto. So this is their first factory in Kameoka. It looks like they're using the DFT. And this is the second factory in the Techno Farm Keihana, also in the Kyoto. The biggest feature is that they install the automation system to the cultivation room, so that it's unmanned cultivation room. So you can see no one is in the cultivation room. Then you can see here, I think one of the trend of the Japanese plant factories that lots of the company has using the white reflection seat like this, you can see here, so that you can increase light use efficiency. So it's more like a closed rack. It's the more company is doing this way. Yeah. And this is one of the another company, the automation company called Ito Denki. They have a cell base. Not usually most of the Japanese plant factories length of one of the rack is 15 or maybe 20 meter, but this company is using the cell-based module type automated. Their demo farm is in the underground, 10 meter below the ground. And this is how it looked. So you can see how narrow the distance is. So it's almost a baby leaf touching the LED panel. And the main business is a motor-driven roller for the material handling conveyor belt. So they transport each cell tray, cultivation tray in this conveyor. And then the other interesting company called Espec Mic, they've been in this business more than 30 years. It's an engineering company for the small or medium size, or even the large scale plant factory. They'll be working on automation and the monorail system. And this is a very new plant factory in Fukushima Prefecture. The interesting thing is that they are using the automation system, but it's a monorail system. So you can check this web page. There is a movie, the video. So the monorail is moving around and transporting the cultivation tray in the cultivation room. And another leading company called Greenland, they have their own factories. Total volume is 3 tons per day lettuce production. But interesting thing is that they have been helping other company to build the farm and design the farm. So they'll be working on the alliance network for the supply and distribution. So they sell this other companies vegetable as an alliance, with alliance company. So this is a picture of their second farm, but you can see the other buildings have different logo. So it's completely different company, but they are helping the other company to sell their produce. And this is the another building in backside of their second factory. And also they're also helping them and purchasing their produce and then to sell it to the convenience food service or the retail store. I think they were selling more than 10 metric ton lettuce per day. So this is the ratio of the cost component, how it looks. So as you can see, depreciation, and labor cost, and electricity is a major cost. Yeah, but also the lots of company claim that logistics is usually more than 5%. Yeah, so yeah, there are other things. But if some company have installed an automation system, they could reduce labor cost of 50 or 60%. And then this is the efficiency in electricity, efficiency in labor, efficiency cultivation area, the yield per square meter per day of the range of the major plant factory in Japan. And some of the company have higher than 350 grams per square meter per day. But the reality is that they can technically can increase the yield, but they also work on the quality. So I think they have some balance. So they have to they can reduce the labor hour, but they also have to take care of their the quality as well. Also, the uniformity is one of the major topics that lots of the work company and also we as working together. And this is one of the pictures of how it looks, how densely cultivated. I think it's more than 300 grams per head when you harvest. It's very highly dense production. So now that more the research, more company or more research is interested in to achieve a uniform environment in a three-dimensional way, even this much of the highly densely cultivation in the closed environment with a narrow distance of each layer. Yep. And this is another company called Nihon Advanced Agri working on the LED system, also the seedling production system. But the interesting thing is that since 2006, they've been working also on the science, the health, life science sector. So they've been also growing the ice plant, and then they are producing the health food with like this. This is one of the application of the plant. And also not only Japanese company, but lots of we see more international company getting into Japanese market. Besides LED company like Signify Philips, other company, German company Infarm, they have set up the indoor urban farm in Japan, Infarm, Japan last year. This is a picture of one of the high-end supermarket in Japan. They are presenting like this, selling multiple kinds of herbs. And also one of the Dutch company called Own Greens, they have pilot growing plant factory system in Japan with a collaboration with a Japanese company. And this is a common picture, common look, how it looks at packing room of the large-scale plant factory in Japan. But usually they are checking tip burn. So tip burn is a major issue, and then lots of company reducing the light intensity to reduce the tip burn risk. So the challenge is that how to find the optimal set of environmental factor set point for maximizing multi-objective function and how to achieve reproducibility. So this is like a biggest research topic since I think, for the past 50 years. So since 2017, we started the project working on the phenotyping based smart plant factory system development for the control environment and the breeding. That we use a methodology on the plant cohort research so that you track the history of individual plants besides plant community. So collect the phenotype, also the environment and management data, and then all the data go to data warehouse. And also the uniformity in early stage is really important, as we all are aware of, to improve the productivity. So that we developed the phenotyping system to first assess the germination time of individual seeds, which is affected by microenvironment and management factor that we do for the cohort research in plant factory. So this is how we look. You actually assess the germination time for the individual seeds. So that you also to find out how it affected by the microenvironment management factors. So we have been keeping this research on not only germination, but also the seedling and other maturing process. So hope to share this research hopefully soon with you. So the plant factory market is expected to increase a lot. So this is like a starting point, and a leafy green or other fruit crop is just a part of the lots of potential that this sector has. And this is one of the example, not only fresh produce or other health produce, but this company called Hokusan and based in Hokkaido have been working on with collaboration with a national institute called ICE to develop the biopharmaceutical, and they actually commercialize a product for the dog use in 2014. They're using I think lots of the molecular farming. Its major plant is Nicotina benziana, for example, but they're using the strawberry to produce the powdery, and then they don't need a cold chain, so they simply have to frozen and dry and to make a powder, and then it's ready for the biopharmaceutical. This for the animal use at this moment. So the plant factory is termed that the factory to produce plants, but I think the plants have lots of potential, and then I think it's the most ecosystem to produce anything, and then so plants itself can be the factory. Well, I think Professor Kubota will be the only one, I guess, can read this comic, but we had a privilege to be introduced with the Japanese comics. You see who you know who he is. It really looks like him. I really like this. He even wanted to, Professor Kozai, we even wanted to use this drawing for his name business card. He said so. The roughly explaining what it says, so that, well, so that as we can design, we have to in the future we are supposed to design the environment as we wish to design a plant. So if we can design the environment, so for example, that we can produce, the vegetable can be the medicine or the vitamin C rich vegetable if you have some problem with your skin maybe, or some some good vegetable for your beauty, or it's many things. So as we put for example put the aircon, like for the remote controller, I think in the future we should be able to have the system and individual at each house, and so that as we control the air conditioner right now, but we will supposed to control the environment at home, like it's really easy in the future. So this is how I think the future will be like this. So since plant factory indoor farming composed of so many technical factors, so to creating the shared value for the inclusive and sustainable society, I think not only engineering or science, but we also need to work together on the design, including social science and also the art for the future. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate lots of information. Thank you.